Hello, everybody, and welcome to Machtails from the Cantina Live, episode number 62.
Jedi business. Go back to your drinks.
Tonight's show is a preview of Iccc.
Attack pattern Delta. Go now.
In Nashville, Tennessee, on October 3rd through October 6th.
Look, I have to go.
On tonight's show, Iccc founder and promoter Michael Evans joins the show. Co-founder of the virtual Cantina network, Spencer Jowitz, is here to tell us about the Boonta Eve Special Edition in Nashville and all the shenanigans that we can look forward to.
Congratulations. You are being rescued.
Brother Glenn Nelson also joins the show. And Machtails from the Cantina show producers, Cody Moore and Matthew Rooney, will also be here. I am your show host, Chris Mock, and also the documentarian that brought you The Force Among Us, The Force Within Us, The Walkers Among Us, and the real fans of the saga.
All right, boys, keep tight now.
Sit back, crack open a cold one, smoke if you got 'em.
Marijuana! Better than cracking hookers.
And we are live inside the Wampa Cave. Let the tomfoolery and hijinks begin.
Kick out the jazz, motherfucker!
Well, I hope you guys got that disclaimer in the beginning. Now that your ears and eyes are on fire from all the tomfoolery and hijinks that we had in the beginning. Welcome to Machtails from the Cantina Live show number 62. This is actually the 89th live show we have done as we are in our 5th calendar year here. Got a great show tonight. I feel like it is the same feeling that leads up to Christmas Day. Yes, we're going to talk Iccc in Nashville happening. It's a week away from Thursday, from this Thursday. All of a sudden, I've been waiting for this thing since January, and all of a sudden, it is next week. I still don't know what vehicle I'm going to take to get there. Am I going to take the pod racer? Am I going to take the Millennium Falcon? I don't know. Drinking word of the night, Iccc. Drink along with us. Drink responsibly. Remember, the show is for 21 and over. Before I bring on all my wonderful guests, I do want to bring on brother and producer Matthew Rooney. Matthew, you and I are going to be even better friends after this trip because we are rooming. We're sharing the same hotel room. You're helping me produce the show on the road, even though, and I respect this, right? Because Iccc has become a big, big thing. It is definitely a fan convention run by the fans. Everybody wants to be part of this thing. And I know the Force was not with us because we did not get in on the podcasting stage on the raffle system. But I got to shout out to all the other podcasters that made it and even all the other podcasters that didn't make it on to the stage. But you and I are going to be covering the event and all the glorious things that Michael Evans and his wondrous crew bring to the table. Are you ready? You ready for this extravaganza?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be kind of like a homecoming for you and I because I met you at Iccc Con 2 years ago in 2022. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, I met you there.
Get over there. And then last year I was there for the first night, but I didn't stay for the whole thing for reasons. And so it'll be nice to catch up and to see it from a different perspective. I'm really excited as well. I had a great time in 2022.
Yeah, producer Cody Moore, who might join the show later on, I met him there as well. I met both of you guys for the first time at Iccc, and that is one of the greatest things about this convention, run by fans, for fans. It reminds me of the early days of Star Wars Celebration. It's just a very communal thing, a lot of positive energy, positive vibes. Nothing super over the top to the point where it's like, oh man, that was a drag that I had to stand in line for 8 hours, or that was a drag I couldn't hang out with all my other friends because I simply couldn't see them because the building was way, way too big. This is a very intimate convention. It's one of my favorites. This is going to be my third year in a row, and we're going to be talking to Michael Havens here in just a minute. So I'm looking forward to bonding with you over this.
Yeah, I remember like one of the coolest things was they had Ian McDiarmid the year that I went, and you and I sat there at his panel, and it was a pretty intimate space. It was maybe like, I want to say it was like 60 people in there tops, and they went around with microphones, and like I got to ask them a question, which usually you wouldn't think, expect that you would get a chance just sitting there to get a question asked, but I was called.
You can't do that at Star Wars.
No.
If you do that at Star Wars Celebration, you have to walk like 3 blocks to the microphone.
Yeah.
It's I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to bring on all my guests at the same time, and we got Spencer Jowitz, who is in charge of the Boonta Eve event that you guys know from brother Sean Hines as the Vandalorian. He's been appearing at Spencer's event several years in a row. Spencer, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's great to be back on the Mocktails.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a couple years since we've had you on.
Just before London was the last time I was on. We were plugging Boonta London. So, it's been a while. A lot's happened since then. I'm very excited to be on tonight. That's great, man. I'm looking forward to what you're bringing to Nashville. And, of course, the Godfather here this evening. Michael, how are you feeling about, as we're getting, like, almost a week up to this event? I mean, you guys feel ready? Have you been ready? Where's the stress meter for you guys? Is the people putting this event on, that sort of thing?
Yeah, to be honest, we're ready, man. We always have the last minute finishing touches to do. We always have badges to ship out, things to lock down, final hotel room counts to get in, a whole bunch of stuff, man. But we're used to it. We're going into this is our 6th time doing this. We've been doing it since 2018, and it's not like it's old hat, and it's not like it's not a lot of work, but it's easier to do a job, if you know what I mean. So that's where we are right now. We've done this 6 times, you know what I mean? So we know who needs tablecloths, who needs this much space, who needs these risers, and so on and so forth. So no, we're ready, man. And I think since it's back at the Sheraton, where we've had great success before, and since we made a couple tweaks and took more of their space, literally we have the whole hotel. Even outside, like we got food trucks out back with a whole, it's called the Outer Rim Outpost. And what it has is they have the big tank from Rogue One, and they're setting up a bunch of tables out there, and all the food trucks are around it. And then we have laser tag out there and Jedi training out there, and a bunch of the star cars, like the Jeeps that are all done up, and like Kit from Knight Rider, stuff like that. And so we've even spread out even farther as far as this space will let us. And we have live music in the where you guys hang out, where the pool is there. And then we also even have the aerial skywalkers there where the pool is. They do all the Cirque du Soleil stuff hanging from the metal rafters and whatnot. Oh, yeah, they'll be there.
That's they were amazing. Speaking about amazing and talented and music, I got to bring on my brother Glenn Nelson here, who is performing with me on the stage right before the Conmen. So I need to ask you, Michael, last year you guys had so many bands play. I'm honored to be back with my brother Glenn Nelson on stage at Iccc. How many bands do you have for this weekend? Do you have as many as you had last time, or it's not?
I have no idea. Lee Ramsey is absolutely wonderful and completely runs that department. Okay. They are all listed on the. They're all listed. Glenn knows. Yeah. Glenn's like, yeah, man. Mike comes out and hangs out for 5 minutes, but he doesn't know what's going on out there. But no,
5 bands a day, I think.
Well, Lee Ramsey's wonderful, but I know there's a ton of bands. If you go check out the schedule, the master schedule, there's just tons of bands. I mean, Saturday all day there's bands. There's bands Friday night. There's bands on Sunday during the day. Sunday night we kind of leave it alone just because everybody's so exhausted. You're either sleeping or going home by the time Sunday night hits. But yeah, we have tons of bands, man. It's going to be rocking all day, all night. And then with Boonta Eve at night, and you got your karaoke you can go over to, meet some other guest stars there. It's wild, man. And then the Skywalkers, they have their their nighttime show that I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But they're having a very exciting nighttime show the next day. So it's going to be 24 hours a day for 4 days, man. We're going to rock out, man. It's Nashville.
That's awesome. Now, Spencer, what can we expect? The Nashville special edition style of the Bunta Eve. How many guests? I know you guys always bring. It's almost like a convention within a convention. How many guests will you guys have signing autographs at your karaoke event? And what other tomfoolery and shenanigans and hijinks can we expect at the Bunta Eve this year?
Well, we like to say at Bunta Eve, we are shenanigans abound. We are known for our shenanigans. We live by the shenanigans. You don't have to pistol whip us because we'll say shenanigans multiple more times before the end of Iccc Con. Very excited about Bunta Eve. We're bringing two, I would say, luminaries from ILM with us this year. We're bringing, first and foremost, Lauren Vogt, who actually did the makeup and prosthetic work for Amy Allen in the prequels. So we're very excited about that, especially with Amy being at the con. They have not seen each other since the wrapping of Revenge of the Sith. So that's going to be awesome. Lauren is also known for doing the makeup for Oren Frita. She did the fabrication for Sally in Nightmare Before Christmas, as well as the death scene of Walter Donovan in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. And my favorite is she fabricated and puppeteered the chest-bursting alien from Spaceballs. So she's going to have shots of the chest-bursting alien on her table. We're also bringing a legend in the model building world. His name is John Goodson. If you watch the Light and Magic documentary on Disney Plus, he is featured quite a bit. He did a lot of different models all the way from back to the prequels. Known for also doing the Enterprise in the First Contact movie of Star Trek. But if you went to Celebration 2022 and happened to see the Razor Crest model, the working model, as well as the Ahsoka T6 Jedi shuttle, as well as the Gideon Light Cruiser, John built all three of those, and they were on display at Celebration as part of that Mandalorian experience. So John actually has a lot to say if you go to ask him about what he thought about the Razor Crest being blown up. But they're fantastic people. We had them both at our event in San Francisco this past summer, and very excited. You can get, multiple properties signed. They'll have 8x10 selfies are included. It's $40 per autograph, and selfies included. But we'll get karaoke. We're hoping that, we'll get Mike Havens up there to sing Saga Begins. That's a goal of mine. Or Yoda. He can sing Yoda. That would be fantastic as well.
I'm pretty good with Sinatra, man. I don't know, but
I know both of those.
I'll try my best.
Okay, fantastic. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It sounds like a blast. And I noticed something while I was getting the show ready together here, that Glenn Nelson and I are actually performing with the Con Men. We're going to sit in with those guys who we missed last year. I'm looking forward to jamming with those guys. It's an honor and a privilege. It looks like there's a small overlap, not a big overlap, but a small overlap with the Con Men into the Bunta Eve. So Glenn and I will stumble over to the Bunta Eve and join in on the festivities there. And I think Glenn can sing a song. You don't want to hear me sing, though.
I got it.
No, it's going to be so much fun. We're very excited to be bringing this to Iccc Con. Heard nothing but wonderful things about this con for years from Kevin Lyle and various members of my group. And we had this opportunity to bring it in. This is our fourth special edition that we're running this year. And it's also my first time in Nashville. So I'm very stoked for this whole opportunity. So thanks so much to the team for this whole, putting us all together and allowing us to bring our former shenanigans to Nashville.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Michael, I want to ask you, what's going to be the difference between Iccc this year and last year? Is there going to be aside from the venue, which I really was a big fan of the venue last year. You guys just utilized every nook and cranny in that area. And I know you're going back to where my first convention was that you guys had put on. And I love that convention as well. I love that venue as well. But can we expect anything different than we did last year?
Yeah, there's always stuff different, man. I mean, I got laser tag. You guys could go outside. You can play laser tag. It's legit, like headsets and everything. But there's lots of different things every single year. We always like to give you guys surprises. The wonderful thing about this venue, well, there's two wonderful things. From the attendees' perspective, the wonderful thing is you're staying in a beautiful 4-star hotel where everything is within walking distance. Last year, as nice as the place was, it was in a little bit of a two-country town that didn't really understand what cosplaying is and stuff like that, and didn't take too kindly to us, to say the least. But it became untenable just with the way actually the guy that runs the parking lot is the entire problem with the other place. That's the problem. He's in charge of the parking lot, and he just screwed it all up. But I'm very happy to be going back to this place because a 4-star hotel, when you rent it with the expense and everything, they essentially give you a staff of 20 people. So we don't have to pick up the garbage from the garbage cans and stuff like that we have to do other places. So my people are really happy about that as well. Also, we get to not so much control, but we get to control the environment more. So it really feels like you are for 4 days in a galaxy far, far away. There's entertainment and action, and it's all night long. What happens with the other place, what did happen with the other place, is people would finish the convention, and then they would scatter. And the reason why is because there were 4 different hotels. They were 15 minutes away from the convention center. Just the logistics last year was murder for everybody. So they didn't love that. So the reason why we're here is because instead of when you were there 2 years ago, we're able to get more space because instead of just renting a room block of 310 hotel rooms or whatever it was that gave us access to the places we had access to when you came down there, instead I rented the entire hotel. So we have everything. So we're allowed to put on programming outside, inside, in the atrium, in the lobby, in the halls. You're going to see it everywhere. But we've also been able to correct some things from previous years. For example, the lack of space in the vendor room due to giant displays in there. We can put giant displays outside with tenting and stuff. It's Tennessee. I don't remember the last time it rained, but knock on wood. But there's lots of wonderful things, and that allows us to have food trucks and a 4-star hotel. So after you eat that delicious bean burrito, you have home field advantage right upstairs, which people also enjoy. So that's the best parts of this convention place is, and also it happens to be instead of you having to drive a half an hour to get to downtown Nashville, it's a 5-minute Uber ride. So people like that. And if you do really well at room sales, there is a Ferrari dealership a quarter mile away. So,
Glenn, what are you looking forward to most? I know you have been to ICCC before. You and I performed last year. What are you looking forward to? And you're no stranger to the convention circuit. You and I go back to fan days in Texas back in 2009, I believe it was. What is it about this convention?
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole other podcast. Yes, I got to stay on target, keep the train on the track.
Anyway,
what are you looking forward to the most
Iccc,
next week?
Yes, I would love to speak to that. Hey, Mike. Hey, everybody. Kevin Lyle is really the one who got everybody fired up, at least in my world. Jesse and I and our friends, and so it was like fan days in that Jimmy told everybody to come and if you can hear my voice, you need to be here next time. And we were all like, yes, master, we're coming, and it was great. And that was sacred times because that's before Star Wars got too big and everyone knew each other. And it was like a gentleman's club and with women, with beautiful women. But it was nice while it lasted. But this ICCC feels like that. It feels like going back in time to a simpler time when you could actually have access to your Star Wars friends and fans and all the celebrities, and you get actual FaceTime with them, and you're not so rushed or waiting in long lines. So Really impressed on a great con. This year, I'm going to be able to be there, I think, the entire time, which is great. Playing on Saturday with Chris Mock, once again reunited, and playing all night and singing with the con men. So that'll be great. And last year, I actually sang the Star Spangled Banner at a demolition derby in Nashville. It was pretty cool. And I got to sing a Jedi hymn in Nashville on Sunday morning in front of my dear Star Wars friends. All you guys were beaming from head to toe. And I was like, this is freaking awesome, dude. But I learned one thing watching the video back, and I knew the rule, and I broke it. No shorts on stage. Pants.
So, Michael, this is a testament, what Glenn just said, to what you're doing. And you've heard it more and more. And I feel like I know you well enough where I know you as a nice guy and not this egocentric maniac, because you make a lot of people happy and you do a good job doing it, and you're so humble about it. Do you feel like, with all these compliments that you're getting from the fans to the fans by the convention run by fans, is it the payoff for you? Is that where you're like, you know what, this is why I'm doing it?
You know what? Honestly, yeah, it is, man. I like to shake the hands of people that come all the way out and come enjoy the show. I love it when people write me a note or send me something. Somebody just yesterday wrote me a message on Messenger, and he's vision impaired. And he wrote me and he was like, hey, man, I'm vision impaired. Is there anybody that'll help me get into the right lines? And I'm like, well, man, of course, like any staff will always help you. And I go, but the thing is with this convention, that doesn't happen a lot of places. And I'm not talking about conventions. I'm talking about anywhere on the planet anymore. You can literally, I said, you can ask any attendee. Everybody's nice. And the reason why is because what we try to do is we try to literally not make any money at all and hopefully not lose money. And that way it really keeps it as cheap as possible, so we can have huge guest stars like Billy D. Williams or Ian McDermott or something like that. But also you can have the face-to-face time with them. That's what we're going for. We don't want you to be in long lines. We want to tell you when they're signing so you don't have to sit there all day and guess. We want to, give you more access and get you closer to your heroes than you can anywhere else. To be honest, if you haven't noticed, I'm a pretty big guy. So when I started this convention, one of the biggest problems I had was most conventions, they put in 500 guest stars, so you can't afford all the autographs anyways, because all the autographs are triple the price that they should be, because they all tack on money except for us. And then what happens is you're packed in there so tight you can't even turn around. And that's what we try to avoid. That's why we try to even open the spaces more. For example, with the food and the laser tag and stuff like that. Most conventions would never even imagine something like that. We always try to do something crazy every year. This year it's laser tag. Please don't bust your hips. We're all older than we used to be, but it'll be fun. Last year, yeah, it was a demolition derby, man. The year before, I threw a zoo in the Sheridan, and everybody thought I was insane. But you walk around the corner, and all of a sudden, there's an alligator with Loki horns on. I like doing things that you don't expect, because the thing is, this is not a convention or a Comic-Con or a sci-fi convention. That's not what this is. This is a group of great friends meeting together and having a sleepover, just like we used to have when we were kids. We all bring our toys from all over the world, and we all show, tell, buy, sell, trade. And that's what we used to do when we were kids. And I've always said, with the Imperial Commissary and all the Facebook groups, that's why you're the most Randy podcast I've been on all year. But no, I always say, if you'd get in trouble, if you were at a friend's house and you were at a sleepover, and you would get in trouble if his mom came into the room with a plate of Rice Krispie treats, then don't do it here. And that's what we do. And, politics doesn't come into it. Everyday problems don't come into it. Nobody there wants to hear about it if it didn't happen in a galaxy far, far away 40 years ago. That's what we're going for, because it's not about how many people you could jam in the building. It's not how many people you could get to buy a $700 autograph or whatever god-awful thing they want to tack on prices to. It is about giving the fans what they actually really want. Like, we have if you go on the main page, if you scroll all the way down on the Imperial, the ICC website, you'll see there's a comment card. You fill it out, say, I had this kind of ticket and this is what I thought. And we always take info and updates and stuff like that from the actual fans. For example, Spencer. When Spencer reached out to me, he was like, hey, man, do you think we could do Ubuntu Eve? And Spencer, I'm going to rat you out a little bit here. But he was so nice and being like, well, what do we owe you to do it? And what do we need to come up with to do it? I'm like, bro, I know what you guys do. Just come and do it. You know what I mean? But that's what we're trying to do. That's why we have such cool swag, because people go, oh, do you think it would be okay if I use the ICCC logo on this swag? Yeah, dude, swag's free. If you want to, go ahead. I don't restrict our logo. Also, we let people, go out, and if you want to bring a ham sandwich and you want to go sit outside on the grass and eat that ham sandwich for lunch, save yourself a couple bucks, fine, I support it. If you want to come down and you want to grab a hotel room, well, the hotel's sold out. But if you wanted to grab a hotel room 7 months ago before it sold out, you could literally come to this show, and if you want to participate in the room sales, you can make back enough money that it literally would cost you nothing to attend. The room sales are very, very, the room sales are very, very unique. For example, it has nothing technically to do with me, just like Ubuntu Eve doesn't have anything technically to do with me. But what they do is they warn the hotel, and I allow it to happen and don't shut it down like any corporate convention would do. Because technically, if you really think about it, it takes money out of your vendor room and out of your convention and gives it to other people. But I don't care. I want everybody to be happy and I want everybody to have a wonderful time. So what we do is we make sure the hotel is aware. And that's why, even though other places do have room sales, listen, I love Celebration. I'm going in Tokyo. I go every single year. But I have not been to a Celebration room sale where anybody has known where it is that wants to know. It's always like some secret ninja thing. And then I have never been to one that doesn't get broken up inside of a half an hour. Because what they do is they just take a bunch of toys and show up in a hallway at a 4-star hotel, and you can't do that without any planning. But a corporate convention would never in a billion years allow a bunch of people to set up and buy, sell, and trade. Ever. Yeah. But that's the difference, man. We want you to have fun. So when you give us input, we want to make that input into a reality, because that's what makes the magic. That's what makes this dream that is ICCC. And that's why we have bands, and we've had bands since year one. Man, the Con Men thing, do you know how that all started?
No, how?
I would love to hear. Okay. I would love to hear the roots of the Con Men, actually.
Yeah, like the first year, what happened is we had a live band, and conventions never have live bands. I don't know why. It seems like a no-brainer to me. But I also live in Music City, so it's like you go to the grocery store, there's a live band. But it brings music into the mix, and people don't think about it. But do you know how much nicer it is to be able to listen to music instead of just being in a giant convention hall covered by concrete with no sound? It's totally different.
Brandon and I can definitely chime into that and saying music is a world of a difference in our lives,
Yeah.
Huge.
High Adventure, that was our whole mission statement, was to bring music to the cons, and we played every con for a while there, and then we thought other bands would follow in our wake, and we would inspire other bands, and most of the places that we played just didn't know how to handle live music, but Mike knows how to handle live music, and so does Lee. Shout out to Lee.
Lee's the greatest, man. Yeah.
And you guys run a great show, man. And everyone should go check out those bands, man. Everyone listen to
I appreciate it, man. Well, that's the wonderful part. So what happened 2018, right? We have the live band rocking out all day long, and people are like, what's going on? And at that time, it wasn't like nice on a 4-star patio. It was like in a rodeo arena on concrete with like a little tiny ICCC sign behind you. And they were rocking out all day long. And what happened is Steven Constantino went up there and was like, hey, bro, could I play your axe? And he plays a Gamerian Guard, right? And so he starts rocking out on their axe. And what happens is then he goes, Corey, come over here. Because Corey D. Williams and him were like best buds back in the day forever. They've been best friends forever. Yeah. And actually, the whole reason why they both got into Star Wars, Corey was going to visit Billy D on the set, and they needed 2 more people to get into outfits. So that's how they ended up getting Klaatu and a Gamerian Guard. So they're up there rocking out all day, and then it became like this thing. And since then, we've had like 4 or 5 different guest stars that joined Stephen Constantino, because Stephen Constantino is our always there. And the reason why he's always there is because the very first year, I didn't know that as a convention promoter, if you're not at a 4-star hotel, you have to clean up everything on the last day, like everything. And so it was my wife and I going around the 178,000 square foot rodeo arena with push brooms like this, you know, and picking up flyers that didn't get used and all the extra stuff and pipe and drape and whatever. And Stephen Constantino had a late flight. And instead of just sitting in his hotel or instead of going to downtown Nashville or something, he came with us and he helped us all day long. So people always go, oh, bring back X, bring back Y, bring back Z. And I say, well, you know, we try to, you know, 2 years max if they're like crushing it. Until we get it back around to them eventually, because there's so many people in the Star Wars universe. We want everybody to have a shot to feel this fandom that we have. But Stephen Constantino, every year, I don't care, 200 years from now, he will be there. And the reason why is just, man, we really see that. And that's why our leadership team, our volunteers, the people that build this for you, none of us make any money. Every single one of them pays for their hotel room or their travel or everything out of their pocket. And we just make this because it is supposed to be special and it is supposed to be magic. If ever one day that comes, great. If not, it doesn't matter, because we're putting in a whole nonprofit 501c3 licensed nonprofit to take care of everything in the future. So even if I kick the bucket, ICCC will be a safe, happy, respectful, nice place for true Star Wars fans to come and enjoy each other's company forever. So that's what we're going for. And it's really, that's why you see it, man. So I love that you guys see it, because honestly, I'm over here and we work our butts off, and you should see the leadership team, man. I know you were like, hey man, come on out, see us at like 9 o'clock at night and do karaoke. Brother, I love you, Spencer. I'm going to try. But usually about 6:45, I'm trying to walk through the lobby with cold Taco Bell, trying to just go to sleep, you know? Like it's a lot of work.
Your shirt. I see your shirt too, and it says the Battle of Yavin. Okay, so
well, that's because we got so many pilots and stuff this year. It's like the Rebels returned.
What I see it is, I make the analogy like, because I've been in event management and concert production and that sort of shit for a long time, and I know the effort and the physical and the mental task that it demands. So I see your shirt and I'm thinking, yeah, it probably feels a little bit like the Battle of Yavin putting one of these things together. You know?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Even though it's a great time and everybody's great to one another, there's still a lot of bullshit that needs to be done behind the scenes. I know that, and it shows that you guys do a good job, because we keep getting excited for this thing. Like I said, like it's Christmas Day around the corner. Funny thing is that Steven, I've invited him onto the show several times, and he is a busy guy. I got Corey D. Williams on the show about a year and a half ago, maybe. And I tried to get Steven on. Steven's like, man, I'll get you when I get back. I'll get you when I get back from the road. So the fact that I'm going to the convention that he's going to be at, going to be jamming with him, I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to get him on the show finally.
Yeah, you'll become fast friends for sure. Yeah,
I am sure, because we had this really nice exchange through email quite constantly, and I could just tell he's a good guy by the tone in his text messages. Now, Glenn, I'm going to do spoiler alert here. You know, because you sent it to me. I'm going to cross the line and just kind of tease the set list a little bit. Glenn had sent me the set list, and I won't tell you what songs are on here, but it's a lot of great Allman Brothers, the Grateful Dead is on here, Van Morrison is on here. I mean, this is good, jammy, late night convention, sitting around, having a couple beers kind of music. I can Cream is on this list. Glenn, your set that I'm doing with
Lots of Dead.
We're focusing on a lot of Star Wars theme music, correct?
High Adventure?
Yes.
Of course. Well, this is a Star Wars convention, and I mean,
hey man, I've got Ron Rudat.
So no, it's going to be heavy Star Wars. Yeah, it's going to be. you know, you have to play, you know, Qui-Gon. You have to play Qui-Gon. You know, so
Yes.
that's in the set list. You know, and it would be a shame to not sing Ahsoka, but there will be, you know, you have to do the hits, obviously, but there's a vast 5 albums of songs to choose from, and so I will send some surprises in there too, and it'll be great. And you were great last time, so more of that, please.
I really wish we could get your entire band out there, but I know the schedule and I know just what it takes to get from point A to point B. Spencer, I want to talk a little bit about your event. You guys, on the flip side of live music, you guys do karaoke, which is a lot of fun. Like I said, the only song that I can get away with is partially singing okay is War Pigs by Black Sabbath. That's my go-to. What would you say are the top 3 songs that people seem to go to at your karaoke event? And is there any, aside from the Weird Al song, are there any Star Wars songs that end up making their way into the mix of this?
So that picture's a great one because we actually in London took over a place called the Breakfast Club, and that's actually the band Blues Harvest doing an acoustic set in one of our rooms. We had 3 floors for that event. So that was awesome. While we had karaoke in the other room, we had Blues Harvest in the other room.
That's awesome.
So one of my favorite Star Wars songs, actually, if you were at our Boonta Eve Anaheim in 22, Darth Elvis literally came from the airport, got on the microphone and sang one of his versions of an Elvis Presley song, but obviously he changes the lyrics to make it very much Star Warsy. So if anybody's met Greg before, seen him, perform, whether it be at the Bash in 22 with Blues Harvest or in other places, Greg's fantastic. Our good friend, the Vandalorian, he's been at every one of our Boonta Eve propers except for London. He was at our very first one in 2017 in Orlando. So he's always a trip. Sean's a man, as you know.
Yes.
So those are some things that I actually love. Also, the first female stormtrooper, Samantha Aileen, performed for us at Boonta Eve in
it would have been Anaheim, right?
Yeah, it was in Anaheim as well. She performed there, but also we just did our special edition. We did 3 Boonta Eve special editions in California this past summer. Chris Bartlett, who's going to be at Iccc Con this summer, came up and he sang Rawhide, which was actually pretty awesome. He put his name as Zero, so everybody was like, "Oh my God, Zero!" The bounty hunter is going to be singing. And also our good friend Details from England, who is a R&B star. I don't know if you knew about that. An R&B star in England, with one of his hits actually being on the Bad Boys movie soundtrack. He performed at a band called Emanate. So he was a boy band, guy back in the 80s over in England. He performed at Boonta Eve London. He hosted our Aldron Idol in London, as well as performed at the one we just did at Scum and Villainy in Hollywood in July. So we've had a lot of great Star Wars, but the fans like Sean, the ones that come back year after year to every one of our events and just get up there and sing. And it doesn't matter, if you sing or not, or it doesn't matter. Just we're having fun. Karaoke is another thing that just is about the community, and it's something that's great. And Mike talked about the music. So getting up there, and Chris, I hope you do sing that. But it's just about the fandom, and the first and foremost is that when Mike talked about it earlier, is our philosophies match up in sync. I'm not saying with we might see some Ewoks doing bye, but it's besides the point. But I'm talking about the fact that we're for the fans, by the fans. The Virtual Cantina Network, we started as a fan group for celebration, and now we're just over 69,000 members worldwide. We're completely for the fans and trying to make sure that this community stays together, because we all know that this fandom can be so divisive and separating it. And what we're trying to do is say, listen, you don't like Last Jedi? Cool, man. You do you. I happen to love Last Jedi. You like Rise of Skywalker? Not my particular favorite, but you know something? Go enjoy it, because guess what? At the end of the day, we all have the same entry point as our love of Star Wars, no matter where it came from. And that's what the VCN is all about. That's what ICC Con is all about. And it's just a perfect amalgamation of the two coming together and being able to offer our form of shenanigans late night to an already incredibly well respected entity that is known as ICC Con.
Well, I think that's why it's a great marriage with the Bunta Eve and ICCC, is because, like you guys, like we all had said, it's for fans, by fans. I got to ask Havens and you, Spencer, a question that might be difficult for you to answer. But as we turn the page and get closer into this great event coming up a week from Thursday, Spencer, I'm going to ask you first, and I'll ask Michael next. What was your most memorable, and you can only pick one, your most memorable or your favorite Bunta Eve event that you did? I know it's kind of throwing you under the bus a little bit, but is there anyone that really sticks out in the mind? I know the one in London sounded like it was a blast.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say London. I'm going to hands down have to say London, because everything was against us. We're an American, primarily American group running an event, renting a facility in Canary Wharf, which turned out to be the perfect location because you had to go through a set of Rogue One in order to get to our location, which was great in that capacity. So people would come into Canary Wharf tube stop at the escalator where they filmed that 1 5-second scene, and then go to our event. And plus also right by where the Breakfast Club was the Sky Bridge that they shot scenes for Andor in, for the ISB building. So you were surrounded by Star Wars going there. We sold out London in a day and a half. We had not announced one guest, and we sold out just by virtue of that we were going to be running a Bunta Eve in London. And quite honestly, it personally, outside of the group, changed my life. That has given me more opportunities professionally in marketing and event promotion, just by the sheer fact that we had the balls to run London. And to me, that will always say to me, something, that will be my top. Now, we had this incredible trip this past summer where we started off in Hollywood, ran a Bunta, went to Anaheim, ran a Bunta, went to Disneyland, and then took a bus ride to San Francisco, ran a Bunta in San Francisco, and ended with a group family portrait right in front of the Yoda fountain. To me, that was ballsy as it is. I'm always looking to top myself. I'm always looking to top what the group can do. But like I said, London for me, hands down, was the best event that we ran thus far.
So if we want to come to Bunta Eve, do we need to pre-order a ticket? Then you said that you sold out when you were in London. Is that the case for Nashville too?
For Nashville, we have open mount tickets. As many people as they are going to allow us to have in the ballroom, McGavick Ballroom at the con, we're going to have. Right now, we have plenty of tickets. We sold about 50 tickets so far, which I'm very happy about. This is the first time we're latching ourselves onto another con. We've obviously latched ourselves onto Celebration. We ran we ran 3 satellite events this summer in California that were just us. So that's pictures in the back over at our event at Scum and Villainy, and you see Nelson Lee, who played Senator Ziono, for the first time meeting Kaz Ziono from Resistance. They had never met each other before, and they're father and son in the Star Wars universe. So that was a great photo op some people were able to get. It was just an incredible event, and honestly, I'm just excited to have this opportunity. I'm hoping that people will come to our booth. We will be in the club area as well, and we'll have comm cards with us. They'll have a QR code that goes directly to our store that you can pre-order your tickets before getting to the door at Bunta Eve. And we'll have a separate line for those people who are pre-ordering tickets. You can pre-order your autographs for John and for Lauren as well if you want to. We'll have another large banner that's going to be outside the room, all throughout con. So there'll be multiple opportunities to buy, before the event. But I honestly believe, and this is something Mike has told me, is that, people are going to be walking through the lobby after the comment or, figuring out things to do, and they're going to hear your karaoke. And even if you're going to the bar and grabbing a couple of beers, and getting, completely shit-faced, you're like, oh my God, karaoke? I mean, that's really what karaoke is all about, if you want to really think about it. So, I mean, some of my best memories is, getting drunk and singing karaoke with my friends for the last 20 some odd years. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring to the Boonta Ease, and it's always going to be a staple no matter what we do, because you can have a regular karaoke event anywhere, but if you have a karaoke event and you have people signing autographs that are distinct for that event, it becomes a whole different event. We're not running a Boonta Eve in Japan, not just because of the logistics, because you can find karaoke everywhere.
Yeah.
You're not going to be special. Ooh, karaoke event, great. There's a karaoke next door. We're gonna run a meetup in Japan, but this will be our last Boonta Eve until maybe 26, at least by 27, hopefully when the next celebration will be. So we're very excited about this opportunity, and plus also, like I said, it's a companion piece. You got Chris Bartlett who's going to be there, who did work on the Razor Crest. John Goodson right there, he built the model for the Razor Crest that was filmed in the actual show. You can get a dual picture. There's a great shot that if you go to Amy Allen's table of her getting makeup from Attack of the Clones, that's Lauren Vogt putting that makeup on. And like I said, they have not seen each other since the filming. So you can get a great dual shot signed by the two of them that has not been available in person since this past summer. We had Amy at our Los Angeles event. We also had Lauren at our San Francisco event. So people got dual signs right there. Plus, also, come on, one of the most memorable scenes ever in Spaceballs is the Michigan J. Frog chest-bursting alien singing "Hello, my baby" right there. Warren built that puppet and puppeteered it, so you get that shot right there, and some stories about shooting Nightmare Before Christmas. They both did stuff on Ghostbusters 2. Lauren helped build the Slimer suit that Robin Shelby wore, and John helped build the River Slime, and also the whole subway station for that. So, and also he built the model for the Titanic that came in later on. That Cheech Marin was like, "Well, better late than never." It's like there's stories around. Spatska, beer, whatever. We're going to be drinking it all. I'm sure Chris Mock over there is going to have a whole bottle of Spatska with him by himself. Going back to the question,
several, I'm sure.
Yeah, going back to the question, Boonta London was my favorite, but everyone is better than next, and I'm just excited about bringing this. Like I said, it's a new avenue for us attaching to another con. It's not Celebration, and it's an experiment, but I'm very excited, and I'm sure it's going to be successful in multiple facets.
Hey, Vince, how about for you, man? I mean, this isn't your first rodeo. You've got a lot of these under your belt. There's got to be one specific one that's got to stick out above the rest, or are they all equally as cool to you? How do you?
They're all different. I mean, like I said, for me, my favorite's still London. I mean, it will always be London, but I would say as a personal flex, the fact that we ran Scum and Villainy with 20 actors from the Mandoverse, yeah, that's a flex. That would be pretty popular in my mind as well.
How about you, Havens?
To tell you the truth, man, one that sticks out, I would say, well, you got to go with the first year. It was built on insanity and hope, and everybody came out of the woodwork, and that's where we got our leadership team. That's where we first had people. That's where we did. See, we do it's different, man. You guys know it's different if you've been before. For example, VIPs get a private panel with Warwick Davis. Nobody does that. And if they do, it's VIPs get the first 3 rows, not, and we do the early day. So it runs a lot different than other cons. So I'm just happy that, I don't know, people saw it the first year, and then more people saw it the second year. We have always had growth, which is wonderful. My favorite thing, I don't know. I don't know if I can really say my favorite thing. To tell you the truth, I get to see my friends in person every single year. And we hang out. The leadership team hangs out. We started off where we were shooting guns in my backyard with the movie stars, and we've grown way past that where it's just not safe. So we don't do that anymore. But it's grown so much, and I've had great opportunities because of it. I love it just in general, man. I can't pick out a favorite one because they're all very, very different with whatever we provide. Last year I didn't. The first one was great. The first one was great, and not just because it was the first one, man, but because there weren't enough people that attended, because we didn't know what we were doing, but we overcame every single issue. Because the only reason why we even did the first one is because I was renting a 4,000 square foot room to do an Imperial Commissary meetup. And they were like, well, the 178,000 square feet isn't that much more money. And I was on the phone with one of my crazy IC buddies who was like, bro, just go big or go home. And I don't know if he was teasing me or not, but I got the 178,000 square feet. And then I found out 8 months later how much it cost to air condition 178,000 square feet. But I don't know, man. It was so special because it happened and we got creamed. I got creamed. That first year, I lost so much money. It was bonkers. But it still happened. And, you know, Shatner had a great time and the guest stars had a great time and the attendees had an amazing time. But it shouldn't have happened. It should have never happened. It's complete insanity. This whole thing has snowballed out of a meetup with 15 people at a comic book store in Lexington, Kentucky, or no, Louisville. And like, I got Little Caesars pizza and we watched the Revenge of the Jedi trailer on one of those old cameras. And then it just grew, man. We threw another 15 meetups. They just got bigger, bigger, bigger. By the time we were doing the one at Celebration Chicago, we had like over 500 people in the 3 meeting rooms I was renting. It just snowballed on its own, and that's what makes it so special. It's not just me. I know I'm the one on the podcast, and I know I'm the one that you see doing the guest star announcements, or I find the guest stars, or I find the venue, or, you know, I do the, like, I have a lot of jobs. I'm not saying I don't do anything. Believe me, I do. But so many people have come out of the woodwork that have helped so much, which has helped grow us so much. And what we do is we don't want to stifle people like that. We want to give them the opportunities. When Spencer came to me, not only did I say yes, but I said, how can I help? Yes, Spencer, wait till you see it, man. Because he's always like, well, Mike says there'll be people in the lobby. You guys have been. It's freaking bonkers at night. There's like people on the walls. And yeah, it's not like a normal convention. That's what makes it so special. Is I like the fact.
Oh no!
Did he freeze?
Did we lose him?
I think so. I think we.
Glenn, while we're getting Havens back, Glenn, you've performed at a lot of conventions.
People hang out with each other all day.
Oh, there you go.
Communication disruption can mean only one thing.
Invasion.
Glenn, is there a convention that sticks out to you that you've performed at? You've performed at a lot of them.
Yeah, there he is. One of the, quick story. I was just filming for you, Mike. We were playing at a hotel.
Oh, no way. Thanks, brother.
And we knew that Jonathan Frakes was out in the audience because we had talked to him, during the day, and we said, we're a band and we're playing in the lobby tonight. We're like a 9-piece band with horns, and he goes, cool. He goes, we go, there's a clean trombone all set up for you if you want to play it. Fresh mouthpiece, ready to go. Stu's a trombone player. And he goes, it depends how much I drink tonight, right? So we do our whole show, and we're wrapping it up. And at the end, who comes out of the bar all loaded but Jonathan Frakes, and he grabs the trombone and blows "Summertime."
Wow, that's amazing.
Everyone's going in, we're like, holy shit. And then in a baller move, he threw the trombone down, walked right to the elevator, knocked over a sign, closed the elevator door, and he's like, woo! And like into the night goes Frakes.
Chris Forsythe chimes in. He said the hype is real. It's shut down Nashville. Amen to that. Havens, are we done with the guest announcements, or do you have a couple left in your back pocket that you're saving for the very end?
I think he's frozen again.
Frozen in carbonite. We always have somebody frozen in carbonite.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
No, man, all the guest stars are announced. I want people to be able to plan ahead. The only times I ever do random last-second guest stars is if they come out of the woodwork, but we do not have the space this year. Everything is... See, we've come so far that back in the day, it would be like, well, we could still jam some booths over there. We could still do this over there. Now it is like an AutoCAD grid that many months before. You know, everything is a month ago. And so us build the app. This is a mom and pop run by volunteers. Can you hear? I saw Chris cut out.
I feel like Seal Bibble's in the room with us.
I think
Can you hear me?
I feel like we're on a deep palace right now. Well, Michael, I want to thank you so much for.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were cutting. You were giving us a good reenactment of the scene with Seal Bibble and Captain Panaka and Queen Amidala in the palace in the Phantom Menace as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of that beautiful movie. But Michael, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you in person, man. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight, joining us on the show. And
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's clear now.
We're having some storms down here, so it's like, but
it rained in Nashville.
Yeah, I know, right? Finally, for the whole 10 minutes.
All right, man. Hey, where can people still get tickets, and where can they get tickets at?
Yeah, for sure. Grab your tickets. You can grab them even at the door. It's iccnashville.com. All the tickets are on the website. We try to make sure everything's already in place so everybody can plan. But that's also, we're a mom and pop shop, and we have a lot of volunteers. But you got to remember, we have websites that look, they'll fight any website out there for any con. We have apps that are free to download that have all the information. They'll send you push notifications. All that stuff takes a ridiculous amount of time if you're bootstrapping it. So yeah, we overly plan. That's how you see what you see. Because we have 4,000 contingencies in place in case anything goes wrong. So that way you guys never see it. But of course, it's a duck on a pond, man. We count on you guys and you count on us to throw you a great show. And we're super happy we can provide that to you. And we're super happy that you keep coming back. Also, I did want to touch on your conmen thing. Remember, there's a lot of guest stars that play music. You guys should talk about it more because they just come up to you. I've seen them before. They just come up and start playing. So something to think about because the conmen has snowballed since 2018 and it was out of nothing. So it's totally insane. There's been about 20 different celebrities that have been in the conmen over time. So definitely, talk about it. But that's the same thing, Spencer, with Boot to Eve, man. They're going to see it all the time when they're walking around, and people are going to find out what it is. You got to remember that ICC Con is for all fans. We don't feel that you have to be rich to enjoy Star Wars. And even though I've been blessed and I'm lucky enough and we're lucky enough to go attend celebrations and stuff, if you put a reality sticker on it, if you're going to go to Japan for celebration next year, it's going to cost you $10,000 to $15,000 a person blindfolded. And a trip to Nashville will cost you $200. So come on out to Nashville. Enjoy it. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. I am quite sure. Just like the hair club for men, I am not just a customer, or what is it? I'm not just the owner of ICCC. I'm also a client. But it is the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention, and it is for the fans, by the fans. 110%. You see something, say something. Somebody needs help. You help them out because you guys are on the team too. Everybody's on the team that comes to this show, and that's what makes it so special and wonderful. So leave the drama at home and come be a kid again for 4 days. October 3rd through 6th. Grab your tickets, iccnashville.com.
Amen to that. Celebration Japan, 10,000? Do they want that all in advance?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, dude, I'm 6'8". So I got to buy a first class ticket, which is going to cost me $8,000 of that $10,000. And then I got to get a hotel room that's an American hotel because I can't fit in no pod. I can't just get the cheap hotel.
I think we can all testify to this. ICCC experience that we've had before, that Spencer is going to have next week. You know, it's a very close-knit, intimate, interactive experience with friends and celebrities. It's a great fucking time. Havens, thanks for joining us on the show, and thanks for doing what you do, man.
Here's something that's interesting as well, Chris, is that like my wife hates going to cons. She does not go cons. She allows me to go do my thing. She heard Nashville. She came running. So the fact is, like, my wife is excited about this. Other wives from the virtual Cantina are going to be there, and they're just going to all hang out together, you know, during that week, and, you know, go to the con or go downtown Broadway or anything of nature. Like I said, my wife is stoked for this. Now,
one more time.
And she's like, I don't know, but I'm just excited to go, and I'm psyched.
Where can people get tickets again for your event?
What part of this? If you go either to the virtual Cantina page, if you go to our page on Facebook, which is the world's largest Star Wars Celebration fan page, look for the one that's 69,000 members worldwide, or type in virtual Cantina. You'll find out there's links all there. Plus, also, if you go to the ICCC app or website, there's a link that goes directly to our event ticket page. So if you go to the attractions icon on the app, the top listing they have right there is actually Boonta Eve, and it goes directly to our store. You buy that, you hold on to your receipt, you show it to the door person, they give you a bracelet, you walk right in. That's the same thing if you do any pre-orders for your autographs for John or for Lauren as well. You go right to the front of the line.
Awesome, man. Hey, Spencer, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. I look forward to seeing you a week from Thursday, brother. Thanks again.
Can't wait. I'm so psyched. Flying out Wednesday morning, and it's going to be an incredible time. So once again, thank you guys for having me on it. And once again, thanks, Mike, for allowing us to, you know, jump on the bandwagon. And I'm looking forward to drinking the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid's going to be a nice pint glass full. Hey, Glenn, I want to thank you for inviting me to perform with you, inviting me to jam with the Conman, and I think you got your John Anderson CD there. It looked like it was signed. Yes, was that signed?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
get this.
Ooh.
Get this marked. Get
nice.
it.
Okay. Yes is my all-time. Yes is my all-time favorite band. So I love that album.
Yes is one of your all-time favorite bands?
Oh yeah, I grew up in the 80s. I went to sleepaway camp in the 80s. You know, all the counselors listen to Yes. Fragile is like one of my all-time favorite albums. So give me some Yes, give me some Rush. You know, I'm all about progressive rock. Give me some of the Professor, man. The Professor on the drums over there.
Keep on singing.
Hey, Neil Peart, man. Hey, I look forward to seeing all you guys next week. I want to thank all my guests. I feel like Cody had gotten the time. I'm going to bring him on anyway. I think he got the time mixed up because he's an hour. He's in Indiana. He's an hour ahead. Cody, I look forward to hanging out with you and having a little bit of an anniversary. That was where we met, in that courtyard in ICCC. And you've been producing Machtails from the Cantina since. So I look forward to seeing all you guys. I look forward to having a reunion. And
I also apologize to all you guys that got on the hook with Chris Mock here because y'all came to ICCC. My bad. It wasn't a plan, but dude, he got me up. I don't know, where were we? I was at some bar doing trivia in somewhere. Chris gets everybody out, man. I love it. Where was that? I don't remember.
Lulu.
It was in Chicago.
Yeah, it's in Chicago. All right. But that's what's wonderful. We see each other everywhere, which is a great thing. I love this community, man. I always say Star Wars is the only thing where you can make new friends after 35 years old.
Hey, it meant to that, man. And it's amazing. It's amazing how it continues to grow. And it's amazing that we're going to this amazing convention. The drinking word tonight was not amazing. It was ICCC tonight, by the way. But anyways, I want to thank you guys. I'm going to close out the show with just inviting you guys to join Machtails from the Cantina on a Patreon. You can join for free. You get access to all kinds of great celebrity interviews, all kinds of great video. We've been doing the show now for 5 calendar years. I want to thank all my producers. I want to thank all my guests for not only being on the show tonight, but being on the show in the past. You guys are part of the content that I create, and very much like the conventions that are run for fans, by the fans. I feel like I have something special going with the people that support the show. So I raise my glass to you. Brother Rich Brendel was not here for the Chair and a Beer segment, but I am going to drink to you. And we will catch you guys next time on another episode of Mocktails from the Cantina Live. We'll see you guys a week from Thursday in Nashville. So long, everybody.